It is 1 o'clock Eastern time according to my clock, so we'll get started. Welcome again, everyone, to Mindfulness Monday. Thank you for joining us today. Our next live English session will be on Monday, November 27th with Krista, and she will cover Open to Gratitude. The Parkinson's Foundation provides weekly education and wellness programs virtually through our PD Health at Home series. Join us this upcoming Wednesday for Parkinson's Anonymous, Keeping Their Secret. This webinar is designed for those who are close to someone who has been recently diagnosed with Parkinson's. We will highlight the challenges many people face when negotiating how and when their loved one will share their diagnosis publicly. Recognizing that the family member's needs may differ from the person with Parkinson's, attendees will hear from peers who have navigated this process and the lessons that they've learned. We will highlight ways to find support without crossing the boundaries of your loved one with Parkinson's. You can learn more and register at parkinson.org/pdhelp. And lastly, if you are new to Parkinson's or embracing a change in your journey, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We have a comprehensive website that addresses everything related to PD at parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO or email us at helpline@parkinson.org. And now I'd like to welcome everyone to our facilitator today, Dr. Taylor Rush. Thank you for being here, Dr. Rush.
Thank you, Danielle, so much. It's so good to see everyone today. And so interesting to see all the different places you guys are coming from, and quite a few from overseas even, which is fantastic. So for those of you who know me, I'm Taylor Rush, or maybe for those of you who don't know me, I am a health psychologist at the Cleveland Clinic, and I work in our movement disorders center. So I see a lot of folks who have Parkinson's, and I join about once a month to discuss different aspects of applying a mindfulness practice to living with Parkinson's. So today, I thought we could talk a little bit about how to do mindfulness check-ins. So a theme that I am definitely noticing amongst a lot of my patients right now is there are quite a few people who are gearing up for the last 2 months of the year, which for many people are often filled with various activities and can sometimes feel faster paced than normal life. And sometimes that means it can almost feel downright hectic. And, for many of my patients, they will say that, regular life is hard enough with Parkinson's. There's a lot that, you're trying to do in everyday life just to kind of check the boxes and take care of yourself. And I'll often say, it takes twice as long to do half as much as it used to because the body isn't always moving as quickly or as cooperatively as it used to. And, you have a smaller gas tank as it relates to energy. So, you're trying to get through day to day as best as you can. And then the demands of the holidays can really up the ante with that. There's pressure to attend more events. There might be travel in your life. There might be different social engagements. And, for many people, that is a welcome change of pace. They maybe get to see people that they normally wouldn't see. They get to spend time with loved ones, and hopefully it can be, some opportunity for joyous reunions and connections. But it can also be exhausting. And for many people, they're like, it's a double-edged sword because I like being around people and I like doing more things, but it kind of leaves me feeling a bit depleted. And so for many people, they say that they just try to gut through. They try to push through, and they try to just get through the activities and the obligations as best as they can. But often come January, they find that they feel worse. They find that they might have less energy. They might feel more fatigued. They might notice more difficulties with stiffness, with tremor, with balance, with walking, different things associated with Parkinson's. And part of that is because of that trying to get through and feeling just overwhelmed, and that in that process of getting through and meeting the demands and checking the boxes, they might end up neglecting some of their own needs during that time. And so, what I will often tell people is that it's during these hectic times, it's during these more intense times of your life, that it's important to check in on how you're doing. How are you feeling physically? How are you doing emotionally? And finding ways to interject with moments of respite, ways to take care of yourself, ways to make sure that once January comes, you're not feeling completely wrung out. And so I will recommend that people do some self check-ins, even if it's just once a day, even if it's once a day for 1 minute a day. It can be helpful just to kind of scan and check in with your body, how it's feeling, check in with your emotional state, your mental state, in order to make sure that you can keep accountable to what you need for yourself, what you need to sustain through, any demands that you have coming up, and ensure that emotions don't sneak up on you. And by that, I mean, sometimes when we feel stressed or we feel overtaxed, we may notice that things get under our skin a little bit more quickly. And so you may notice that you might get more irritable, or you might feel more overwhelmed by small things. And it's kind of that mountain out of molehill kind of situation where small things that usually wouldn't get under your skin then do. And so we want to check in with how you're doing to make sure that you can, see what's actually going on beneath the surface. And so that if you end up feeling overwhelmed or you feel irritable or you feel stressed, it doesn't feel as if it's coming out of nowhere. It may be something that you can keep an eye on and take care of as it comes up. So I thought what we could do is maybe do a little bit of a mindful check-in today and give you an opportunity to see where you're at. We are in mid-November, which is really hard for me to wrap my brain around right now because it's a lot that I think is going to be happening over the next 6 weeks for many of us. And, think about, just kind of where you are in this moment right now so that you can feel like you have a plan a little bit more to how to take care of yourself today, tomorrow, the next day. And we'll talk a little bit after we do this check-in meditation and see, what kind of action plans you guys are maybe wanting to sculpt for yourselves for how to intentionally and carefully, thoughtfully, plan for yourselves as we embark on the next 6 weeks of the last part of the year. So as you're feeling ready, go ahead and find a comfortable position in your chair or your couch or wherever you happen to find yourself sitting today. And just start by becoming aware of where your body is in relation to itself, noticing where your feet are below you, noticing where you may be resting your arms, noticing where your sit bones are in the chair, noticing how tense or relaxed your shoulders are, how tense or relaxed your jaw may be. So allowing yourself to settle into this moment. And you can close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, or you can find a fixed point on the floor, a couple feet in front of you. For some people, it helps to ground with their eyes open, whatever feels good to you. And here we'll take a couple of deep breaths. slowly regulating the breath in and out. Ensuring nourishment to our bodies, giving our brain oxygen fuel to stay focused. Just grounding in the experience of the breath. All you have to do is be here right now. Any other to-do list items or obligations or thoughts can float to one side as we share this moment together. And now I want you to consider shifting focus to your body. And not necessarily any particular body part that may be speaking more loudly than others. That does often tend to be the case, that one part speaks more loudly because of discomfort or movement or other things. But to systemically start by checking in with your legs. Noticing how they feel. Not necessarily labeling it as good or bad, but just noticing the sensations that you may feel there. Checking in then with your belly. Notice how it may tense or soften with each breath that you take. Noticing the movement as you breathe. Checking in with your arms. Do they feel tense? Do you notice tremor? Do you notice that they feel relaxed at this moment? And gently checking in with any other area of your body that you would like to take notice of. And just asking yourself, how does my body feel right here, right now? Again, no judgment. It's not that it's good or bad that you feel any one sensation. Just checking where it is and what it may be telling you. Sometimes the body may be telling us important things that we may not always pay attention to. Now, gently, I want you to transition focus to your thoughts. We all have a constant ticker tape of many different thoughts that run through our heads. Just notice what thoughts are at the top of your mind. You may consider thoughts that you had leading up to logging on today. You may be thinking, gosh, am I doing this right? How much longer are we doing this meditation? Whatever thoughts come to mind, just notice what's there. Notice if your thoughts are coming fast or slow. Notice if there's any particular theme with your thoughts of things that you need to do or things that you're worried about. But again, just noticing what's there without necessarily trying to change anything. Now consider gently shifting focus to your heart. Some people find it helpful to place a hand over their chest. And while we know emotions originate in the brain, the heart is very much connected to a sense of experiencing emotions. Checking in with any emotions that you may be feeling right now. You might be feeling peaceful, nervous, feeling restless, feeling sad, or you may struggle with finding a word to describe your emotions because you're not entirely sure what's there. And that's okay too. And oftentimes there's more than one emotion there. And that is also completely normal. Again, it's not that any one emotion you experience is good or bad, just doing a temperature reading of what's there. Slowly take a deep breath and shift focus to your energy. If you were to think about your energy level, maybe as a gas tank, or even as a bank account, where's your energy right now? Is your gas tank full and you feel vibrant with a lot of energy? Or does it feel like you're running on fumes? Do you feel fatigued? Do you feel focused? Where is your energy at this moment? And ensuring that you're not criticizing yourself for not having enough energy or feeling frustrated because your energy isn't where you want it to be. It's easy to get caught in those webs of judgment. Again, just noticing where your energy is. Bringing yourself a little compassion for being able to just check in with where you are, and that in and of itself can sometimes be challenging. And now let's take another deep breath as we widen our awareness and focus to your entire self, your body, your mind, your heart, and your energy. And as you do an overall inventory, as you integrate each of those pieces, asking yourself, what do I need to care for myself right now? You might feel some muscle tightness, and doing a little bit of stretching would be helpful. You might notice that your fatigue is overwhelming because you've really gotten terrible sleep the past few nights, and rest might be important. It may be that you're feeling lonely, and connecting with someone you care about would be incredibly helpful right now. And so just noticing your overall inventory and what do you need to care for yourself right now? And if you're unsure of the answer to that, it's okay. We have to start by at least asking the question. What do I need to support and care for myself right now? Let's take another deep breath here. Expressing some gratitude to yourself for doing a check-in, for asking yourself what you need, and allowing yourself to pause long enough to maybe reflect on some potential answers. And when you're ready, coming back to a more active awareness, shifting your weight in your sit bones, maybe moving your feet, your arms, wiggling fingers and toes, enlivening the body. And coming back to us here in our virtual space. Starting to see some eyes open here. There's so many of you guys. I can't see you all at once, which is a good and a bad problem to have, but based on what I'm seeing, I'm seeing enough eyes. So for those of you who are comfortable doing so, I would love to hear your thoughts in the chat, especially as it relates to, is there anything that you would like to share that you noticed about your body, your emotions, your energy that maybe surprised you or you didn't realize until doing the check-in? And then maybe what you are planning to do to serve your needs. So overall, how was this experience, and anything that you learned about where you are right now today? Okay. So we have someone that said it can be very tough to stick with it today. Maybe avoidance behavior. I need to concentrate more. So Babs, I think, it's funny because some days we can feel really in the zone with meditation. We can feel like we are right there. We can, stick with it. And then there are other days when it's like herding cats in our own heads, right? It just feels impossible. And sometimes that's part of mindfulness, is just accepting that it's one of those days. Maybe it's because you have a lot on your mind. Maybe it's because you didn't get the best sleep the night before. And so, recognizing that within the context of any point of meditation, that it may be different. So even for people who are skilled meditators who've been doing this for years, they have off days too. So just ensure that when you have an off day, you can accept it for what it is. And that is a check-in too, that this is just kind of where I am. And, maybe that's telling me about something that my body or my mind needs. And then let's see, Kathleen said it was a challenge, but good to check in. Don said my tremors stopped during the exercise, which is interesting. So sometimes, tremor is an interesting thing because, it sometimes gives us some tells about our body before anything else gives a signal. And so for some people, they notice that, their tremor starts to act up even before they're anticipating, going to an event, but it's almost like the pre-anticipation and their tremor starts up. And then other times it can calm down when they're feeling more relaxed. And so tremor can sometimes be a bit of a barometer for how you're doing emotionally. Great meditation. I needed this today. Thanks for reminding me to make a plan to support myself. Thank you, Shelley. I think we all get so wrapped up in the hustle bustle of various busy periods of our life, right? So whether it's, these last 6 weeks of the year with the holidays or, other demands that take place related to family or medical stuff or otherwise, it can be so easy to get overwhelmed by that and forget some of those things that matter for you. And then Max said, my whole body was very tense from a lot of stress I'm going through. Thank you for your meditation session. So really, I mean, I think we did about 10 minutes or so of a meditation. So even that can make a difference in how we can respond to our bodies. And sometimes then how we can respond to the stress that we're under. And we have recognition that my less than 100% energy was feeding my anxiety about meeting my to-dos and obligations. This let me relax and resolve some shoulder tension. I didn't want to come back. I think, yeah, sometimes we get into a good zone with meditating and it's like, oh, now it's like, you're in a warm pool of water and then you have to get out to the cold air. It's like, oh gosh, do I got to go back to this? But at least it gives you a sense of what it feels like to be relaxed, right? Because sometimes when we are in stress mode, when we're in that fight or flight, we got the blinders on, we're just looking ahead, digging in, trying to get things done. We forget what it's like to feel relaxed. We don't necessarily always have that internal feedback mechanism that tells us. So we end up, wearing our shoulders as earrings all the time, tensing our jaw, holding on to a lot of muscle tension that can often make a lot of symptoms of Parkinson's worse. It can make gait worse. It can make tremor worse. It makes muscle tension worse, stiffness worse. But we don't even realize it because the pot of water of stress that you're in doesn't start off boiling. It gets to a boiling point and then we're in it for a while and we don't even realize it. And someone said, I really got a resurgence. It was a great relaxation experience. And then someone else said, my left-sided tremor always stops during meditation. And, for some people, they find that tremor, some people find that it does respond to meditation. Some people find that it is a pesky thing that they end up just having to acknowledge is there regardless of the meditation. So I don't want anyone thinking that because my tremor doesn't go away, that I'm doing meditation wrong. That's not true. It's just everyone's tremor sometimes behaves a little differently. And then someone said this meditation helped dissipate the feelings of overwhelm. My tremor lessened as well. And thank you for this exercise. And Sarana said, I've started using the Calm app to meditate and it is super helpful, just like this session today. Calm is great. That's a great app. There's so many relaxation apps out there now. You can find, a million of them on YouTube. You can use something like Calm or Headspace or Insight Timer. Like there are so many. Insight Timer is a great one because they have a free version. And it's always nice when you don't have to pay for an app. And they have so many different ones. So by all means, if having some sort of app is helpful for you to get into a meditation practice, use them. They're there for a very good reason. Steve said, fighting a lot of fatigue today was great to relax. And Kathy has a good action plan. I'm going to be taking care of my neck and right shoulder. So recognizing that maybe the neck and the right shoulder were telling you something. It was a little bit tense. So maybe doing some relaxation stretches, some heating pads or whatever it may be. Bab said, not every voice on apps are relaxing. I've had some like nails on a chalkboard. I think you got to find the right fit. Some people, really mesh with certain voices and it's very calming for them. And then others that they feel like it's an incredible distraction. Um, the hand on the heart helps with emotional pain. That's even just a small symbol like that, it can help us to get in touch with ourselves. So, and Jim said, thanks so much. Very helpful. Thank you guys. I hope that this is a practice that you can continue to use. And again, even if it's just a minute a day, it can be very helpful for checking in with yourself, taking inventory of your needs, and then coming up with an action plan for the things that you can address. So by all means, keep moving this forward. And I think Krista will be back in 2 weeks for the next live session. So we will see you then. And I will see you guys in December. So I'll be back for one more round this year. So thank you for allowing me the time to join you today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.